Hi, and welcome to another video note for Java Software Solutions. My name is John Lewis. In this screencast, we're going to be doing a quick overview of some of the Java development environments that are out there, looking at some of the characteristics they have, some of the tools they provide. In general, a development environment allows you to do all of the core functions that you need to do to get a program up and running. You need to be able to edit files, compile them, look at any errors that might occur, eventually run and execute them, and they might provide other tools like debuggers and whatnot. And there's a variety of tools out there, a variety of development environments you can use. We're just going to look at three basic ones today. We're going to start with a command line tool, which isn't really an integrated environment at all. It's simply making use of some kind of console window like this one. This is a Windows environment, so it's called the command prompt window, where I can do text-based commands to the operating system right from this window. So for instance, I'm in a particular directory and I can do a directory listing and see which files are out there. In this case, I'm in a directory that has a set of Java files that cooperate to serve as a program. One of the things I want to be able to do is compile and run this program. So I can, in this case, type in the command to do a compilation step. In this case, the command line tool is called Java C, the Java compiler. And I'm going to submit to that the class, the file that has the class that contains the main method of the program upon which all the others are based. And so not only will it compile this file, it'll compile all the others that it finds that it needs to accomplish its job. So all of that gets compiled. I can do another directory listing and see that not only do I have a class file for firm.java, which is what I submitted, but it also, in turn, because firm references staff and staff references staff member, etc., therefore all of these files got compiled. I could then run this particular program by, again, another command line tool called the Java interpreter, which is simply called Java, and submit to it the class file of the main that has the main method in it. And I can examine the output. It runs it right here. I can examine the output and see if it's what I think it should be. If it were to fork off a separate window for a graphics or a graphical user interface based program, then it would do that as well. The thing is, I need to be able to edit the files that make up this program initially and when as I develop it. And this command window doesn't in and of itself provide that many options for that. So what I would make use of in concert with, not really a coordinated tool necessarily, but a separate editor. In this case, I'm using the jedit editor. That's one of many editors that are out there that are popular for Java use in general. It doesn't have to be an editor that's specific for editing Java programs, although if you get one like jedit that is familiar with Java syntax and whatnot, it'll do the highlighting of different pieces in different colors, etc., and that just makes it easier to edit the file. So an editor of some kind or another is needed for you to be able to actually type in and make changes to the various files that make up your program. And then you can open, in this case, I can open any particular class file I want, edit it, etc., save it off, go back to the command line window, and compile and execute my programs and test it out that way. These command line tools like Java C and Java and a handful of others come with every Java development environment. When you download the JDK from from the Sun site, you get these set of tools. So that's a very basic environment. It's not an integrated environment, in that these are kind of separate tools that you're just pulling together to get the job done. A truly integrated development environment, close down these and pull up our second example of a development environment, which is BlueJ. An integrated development environment combines all the pieces you need: the editor, the compiler, the runtime environment, and other things into one particular package. In this case, the BlueJ environment is nice in that it shows you graphically the classes. It shows you what's called a class diagram, showing you the classes that make up your project. If you wanted to edit a particular class, you could just double click on that. It pulls up a separate window that is now an editor, but this is the BlueJ editor. It's all part of the same package, and just like any other editor, I can make changes here, etc. When I'm no longer needing that one, I can get rid of that particular one, pull up any other as needed to edit those. When I want to compile and execute this thing, I've got buttons here on the side, as well as menu options across the top to perform various options, perform various functions as we do the development task. I could compile the whole system. In this case, this one's already compiled, and then I can run it. In fact, in BlueJ, you can right-click on any particular class and run particular methods. I can therefore run the, actually let me compile again. I can run the main method from the class that has that, and that's running the program itself. It gives me the options to pass in whatever parameters, in this case the array of string arguments for the command line arguments, if there are any. In this case I would say none, and it pulls up again another window showing me my output, and I can look through it there again and decide whether or not the other changes need to be made. Another nice thing about BlueJ is that it provides this workspace down here where I could actually, for instance, instantiate, create one particular object, in this case of type staff. Now I have that to interact with and work with. Now that I've instantiated it, I can execute the methods that it has in it, etc. And just do it on a method by method or inspect a class by class point of view. There's a variety of other features in BlueJ. Our goal is not to show you all the different capabilities of these tools, but just to give you a feel for the different kinds of environments you have. So far we've seen a command line set of tools that cooperate together and really rely on the most fundamental tools, the Java compiler and interpreter, to get the job done right through the command line. This is the BlueJ editor, which integrates all of that functionality into one environment and provides some nice features like this graphical representation and the ability to interact with individual objects. BlueJ in particular was developed with students in mind. It's not overwhelming. Some of these features are extremely nice in terms of the learning curve and the learning process, and it's considered to be a medium environment in terms of functionality, and a very nice environment for students who are first learning. And we'll put that in contrast with one other environment we'll look at, which is the Eclipse environment.